Hey, really quick before we get started, if you want a free downloadable PDF version of this pattern, visit the link on the screen now, in the description below, or visit louiesloops.com. Hey there, I'm Louie from Louie's Loops, and in this video we're going to be making a little tiny rocket. And this is a pretty simple pattern, but before I get going, I just wanted to really quick let you know that this pattern is brought to you by Club Crochet, a subscription service for crocheters. Basically, you get a new pattern every 2 weeks, and the option to get a kit mailed to your door with all the materials that you're going to need to make one of the month's patterns. But I'll explain it more at the end, or if you want to get the explanation now, just go to clubcrochet.com. Alright, let's get hooking. So first, let's go through the yarn that you're going to need. I'm going to be using a worsted weight yarn to make it really tiny. If you use a little bit bigger yarn, you might be able to get it to about like that big if you use bigger yarn. But yeah, I'm going to be using worsted weight yarn. Just try to stick to the same type of yarn, just the same size at least for the pattern. It'll make it a lot easier. So for the colors, I'm using a red. That's obviously for the tip and whatnot. You'll need a dark shade of gray for the main body. You'll need a bit of blue yarn for the window. You'll need a lighter shade of gray for the outside of the window and the end right here. And you'll need a little bit of yellow just for the flames in the back. You can definitely do it without the flames too. I have one somewhere, but I kind of like it with the flames. I think it's pretty cute. Make a cute keychain or cat toy or something. All right, so and the hook that we're using is a size G crochet hook. I'm using a G because the yarn is worsted weight and it made it look really nice, but if you use a bigger yarn, you'll need a bigger crochet hook. You'll need, not necessary, but you might need a pencil for stuffing it in, meaning that you're also going to need stuffing, and really this is even more stuffing than I'm going to need. You barely need any stuffing at all. You'll need a needle, of course, just a little darning needle, and a pair of scissors, of course. And just really quick before we get going, as I move all this stuff out of the way, you can follow along in the description. There should be numbers next to every one of the rounds, and you can use those to skip to the parts of that you're going to get to, so that way you could skip to certain parts that are a little bit more confusing or whatnot. And really quick, one more thing before we get going. If you like this video by the end or now or whatever, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps me out. Alright, so let's start with the red. I'm going to start by making the fins, which are pretty easy. So for the fins, you're going to need to make a slip knot and make the tail somewhat long, but honestly that might even be a little too long for it. Alright. And to start off, we will chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you look at chains, they're split up into different parts. There's the front, the top loop, which is the one right there. Let me grab the needle. We have the top loop, the bottom loop, and the back loop, which is right here. Okay? We're going to be working into this back loop for all these chains. So to start off, get our hook back in there. To start off, skip the first chain, which is going to be that one right there, and work into the second one. So first get our crochet hook in there. There we go. And we're going to make a single crochet into that loop, or chain rather. Okay, and that should actually make the end a little pointy already. Now in the next chain, you want to do a half double crochet. If you don't know what that is, you yarn over, go into the stitch or chain, yarn over again and pull a loop through the chain, and then yarn over again and pull that loop through all the loops on the hook, like that. We'll do that again in a second when we make our second. We'll make 2. Now in the last chain right here, we want to do a double crochet. If you don't know what that is, you yarn over, go into it, pull a loop through, a lot like the half double crochet. Now you yarn over again and pull just through 2 loops on the hook. Then yarn over again and pull through the last 2 hook loops right there. And that's going to be a double crochet. And that's actually going to be all you need to do for these tiny little fins. So cut the end and chain it to pull it all the way through. Just make a chain and then pull it all the way through. And that's going to be how you make a fin. So you're going to need to make 3 of these, or 4 if you want a bunch of fins, if you want to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again really quick, just so we get the gist. You want to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the back of the chains, skip the first one, go into our second, do a single crochet, boom, and then a half double crochet in the next. Remember, it's yarn over, go into the loop, or into the hook, or stitch, there we go, into the hook. Pull a loop through, and then pull a last loop through all 3 on the hook, right there. And then finally a double crochet, yarn over, go into the loop, pull a loop through, pull another loop through 2, and pull a final loop through the last 2 on the hook right there. Cut, and then chain and pull it all the way through. And that's how you're going to make those little fins. So I'll be right back. I'm going to make a final chain, and then we'll get working on the window. Okay, so for this next part, we're going to be making the little window right here. And that's really, really easy. So to start off, we're going to need our blue yarn. So grab a little bit of our yarn. There's our tail. Get this little felt off of here. Clean up our stage. And then we're also going to need our light gray yarn, so get that ready too. We're going to be doing some color changes, which if you haven't ever done before, oops, I lost it. If you haven't ever done color changes before, they're really not that hard. People act like they're the most difficult things in the world. They're super easy, and we're going to learn the simple stuff right now. So to start, you're going to make a slip knot. You can also use the magic hoop method here if you're more comfortable with that. I personally am more comfortable with the chain 2 method. So let's start by make it a slip knot and chaining 2. And in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, we're going to end up doing 6 single crochets into this hook, into this loop, but the next 5 are going to be very strange. In fact, don't even finish this single crochet. Do it halfway through, like that. Okay? Now we're going to grab our light gray and do some color change magic. So place it in between where the loops on the hook are and where the yarn is, like that. Hold it down with your right hand. Okay? And then put with your index finger of your left hand, put it in between and flip it under like that. Okay? Now grab it with the hook and just pull it through the 2 loops like that to finish up the single crochet. Now for the rest of this window, you're going to make the top of the single crochet in this gray and the bottom in this blue. What that means is, first we want to get the blue over top like that, so make sure the blue is on top. Go into the second chain from the hook. We have 5 more single crochets to make. So go into that chain and pull through with this blue like that. Okay, and now change it back over, flip it under so that the gray's on top, and pull through with the gray to finish the single crochet. You're going to do that just a few more times. So let's do it again. Flip it under so the blue's on top, go into the stitch and pull a blue through, flip it under so the gray's on top, and pull through with gray. Okay, so let's do it again. We have 3 more. pull through with blue, and pull through with gray. Okay, just a couple more. Pull through with blue, change it over, and pull through with gray. So that's going to be, oh, we need one more. Okay, pull through with blue, and then change it over, pull through with gray. Now for the very last part for this, you want to slip stitch into the first blue single crochet that we made. So get your hook in there, like that, and do a slip stitch in this gray. And if you don't know what slip stitch is, you just go in the hook or in the stitch, pull through, and then pull through again like that. Okay, and that's going to be pretty much all you're going to need to do to make these little windows. Now, cut and leave somewhat of a long end. I guess that's probably good. And pull it all the way through with that gray. Now, before we finish, we're going to make an invisible end for this. So let me show you really quick how to do that. Grab our needle and thread the yarn. And then go into the back of the next, or the first gray part that you have right there. Go into the back like that. Pull through. And then go back down through the last gray one that we have right here. And find a good place in the end. And go all the way down. And look at that. That's just supposed to make it so you can barely tell where the end is. Okay? And we're going to put that to the side. We'll sew it on when we got our body just about finished. So, last part is, at least for crocheting, is making the body. And the body's pretty easy. We're going to start with our red yarn and make a slip knot. Again, if you're more comfortable with magic hoop, go for it. You totally can. I just like the chain 2 method. So make a slip knot and chain 2. Into the second chain from the hook right here, we want to make 4 single crochets. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Now for round 2, we're going to be working in the round here, meaning that it's just going to keep going around in a circle. Okay, you don't need to turn at all actually for this entire piece. So to start, get into that first chain, our first single crochet that we made. Like that. And we're going to single crochet 1. And then we're going to increase in the next. Meaning do 2 single crochets into the next. Let's get this tail around like that. Okay, and we're going to repeat that one more time. So go into the next stitch, single crochet 1, and then increase in the last stitch right here. And that should bring us up from 4 to 6 stitches. Now don't finish this single crochet, this last increase rather. Don't finish it because we're going to do color changes again. And now you should be able to do this color changes a little bit easier. So let's grab our gray, place it behind us, and I'm going to place the yarn in between the 2 stitches like I did before. Okay, put my index finger in between the stitches, hold the yarn down, the tail end down with my right hand or your dominant hand, and flip it under like that, and pull through our very last stitch there with gray. Okay, so for round 3, we're going to increase from 6 stitches to 9 stitches. And to do that, we're going to need to add 3 increases. So we're going to do the same exact pattern as the last round, but 3 times. We're going to do a single crochet in the first, and then an increase in the next, and repeat that 3 times. But we want to do, like how we made our window, we want the top of the stitch to be gray. So we go into our next stitch to do our first single crochet, pull a loop through, then flip it under so that the gray's on top, and pull through with gray. And you're going to repeat that. You're going to do that for every stitch all the way around on this round. So in the next stitch is an increase. So go in, pull a loop through. Okay. Pull a loop through in gray. And just keep doing that. So this will be 4. And then 5 and 6. And if you don't notice yet, the yarn will kind of candy cane right there. If you can't make it to the end without this getting too annoying, I'll show you a quick fix. If you pull the loop out like that, and then you grab the yarn right where it starts to spin, and you hold it up, it'll spin its way out and untangle it for you. Makes it kind of easier. But if you can make it just to the end, you'll just have to cut it off. So we have a single crochet, and then an increase. Oop. That one was a little loose. That's okay. Okay, and that's going to be the end of round 1, 2, 3. That was the end of round 3. So for round 4, it's going to be all in this gray color. So first, let me tell you what the round basically is. It's 2 single crochets and then an increase in the next. And you'll repeat that 3 times to go from 9 stitches up to 12 stitches. But it's all going to be in this gray. So let's start by doing a single crochet around the first, around this red, just to keep it locked in. We can cut it, and we're actually pretty much done with this red. We'll need a little bit more for the flames if you're going to put them on, but most of the rest of this round is in this gray with a little bit of light gray at the very end. So let's continue that. It's 2 single crochets, so we just do 1, 2, and then an increase in the next, and you're going to repeat that 3 times. I think this is a pretty good pattern for little things like how I said, like for keychains and stuff like that. I was also thinking about making a baby's mobile for it, but I'm worried that it's too small for a baby mobile. I'm not really sure though. But I made a bunch of different things for it. My friend just had a kid, or is going to have a kid soon, so I wanted to make him a baby mobile for it. And that's why this pattern came into existence. Alright, so for round 5, it's just going to be a single crochet in each stitch. In fact, for the next 3 rounds, it's going to be a single crochet in each stitch. And there should be 12 stitches total. So you just got to go around 12 stitches total, and you got to repeat that 3 times for 3 rounds. All the way around, which I think we all know is pretty self-explanatory there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick, and I'll be back in just a second. Remember, 3 rounds, all single crochets. Okay, so that should be the end of round 7. And you should have done 3 single crochets. You can see them right there. You can see that one's an increase, and then it's 1, 2, 3. So for round 8, you're going to do a single crochet in the first 2, and then an invisible decrease in the next, and you're going to repeat that 3 times total. So let me just show you what that means. So let's just start by doing 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and then an invisible decrease. So for that, you're going to go into the front loops of the next 2 stitches. This is a front loop right here. Okay, so first off, let's look at the top of single crochets. That's important. So if you look at the top, there's 2 stitches here, right? Normally we go into both of them like that. But for this, we're only going to work into this front one. There's also this back one here, but you're only going to work into this front one for invisible decreases. Okay, so work into the front loop of the next 2 stitches. Just get the hook into the front loop for 2 stitches in a row. Okay, yarn over and pull through and just do a single crochet. And that's going to be an invisible decrease, which are pretty useful in amigurumi. You can barely see them, hence the name. And then we're going to repeat that process of 2 single crochets and then an invisible decrease 3 times total. So let's do it again. 1, 2, and then an invisible decrease. Okay, let's do it one more time. 1 and 2. Now for this last invisible decrease, you're going to want to pull through with, or we're going to want to change colors. So get it halfway done like that. Okay, don't finish it. And we're going to change over to this light gray color, okay, just for the end part here. So we'll place it in between, as you know, and you're going to pull through with that light gray. Pull it tight. Okay, so for the next round, I'm going to tell you what it is really quick, but we're going to have to come back to it. We just want to do 1 single crochet with it first, just to lock in the yarn. So the next round is going to be a single crochet in the first and then an invisible decrease in the next, and repeat that 3 times to go from 9 stitches down to 6 stitches. But before we finish that up, because it gets too tiny to sew anything on it, the hole does. So before we finish that up, we want to start by, we want to sew on the window. So really quick before we do that, let's just start by doing a single crochet in the next stitch and get the round started, and don't forget to work around this gray, this dark gray there. So we get the round started and we'll cut it. We're actually done with that dark gray, but don't finish it just yet. So we're gonna pull that loop out really wide like that, and let's start sewing on the window. So let's grab our window. And we want the window sewn on the front. Okay, so where this first stitch was the back, which is nice too because it shows you where the back is. You want to put it on like right like that. Okay? But it's not going to stay there like that, obviously. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew it on with the long gray piece. So put that aside. Let's start by yarning or threading all these 3 other stitches into the piece just to get them out of the way. So let's start with the 2 long ones. Actually, we can even cut them so they're even, the blue ones. Let's cut them even. Grab our needle. I'm using a pretty big needle. And you don't have to do these all at the same time. I'm just trying to speed up the process. And find where we think we want the middle. Looks like, yeah, there's probably pretty safe. And just pull those middle ones all the way through. And let's do the same thing with this little gray one. We probably should have made that a little longer. Would have been easier. And I'm just gonna do it in a weird way. I just don't want these little ends to poke out. I don't think this is really a necessity. It's just me being safe. Alright, so that's going to be the beginning of that. Now we want to thread our gray piece, and when we sew this on, there's a specific way that I like to sew this window on, just so it is clean. So first find right above that where we put the blue in. So let's go like right there. And we'll come out, let's say right here to the left of that, where we came in with that blue. Okay, and that's a good start. So to sew this on, I go up through the gray stitches like that, and then down through the next one, and then I just find the next place where I feel it would be best. And I just continue that process all the way around. So we got our next piece right there. And this is important to do this before the very last round because it gets a little too hard to sew anything on. Except for the fins. Fins are kind of necessary to do at the very last part. Okay. And then we'll go down to the next one right here. And that should be the last one actually. Pull it all tight. Okay. You could also probably like hot glue that in if you want, but I think it's easier just sew it in. And then I'm just going to double knot it to the blue ends. All right. I'm not even going to cut it. I'm just going to stuff that in there. And even save on more stuffing. We might not even need any stuffing. I made one earlier to practice for the video, and I didn't need any stuffing at all. I just used all scraps. All right. So for our last round for the body, I believe it's round 9. Again, it's going to be single crochet in the first, and then an invisible decrease in the next, and we're going to repeat that 3 times. So we did our first single crochet, so let's go over to our invisible decrease. And the reason we don't sew on our wings here is because it's easier when this last round is here actually for the wings, but only for the wings, not for the window. So that's our first invisible decrease. Let's do it again. Single crochet 1, and then an invisible decrease. This should be our last, our last one. Single crochet 1, and then do an invisible decrease. Oop. There we go. And then finish this up by doing a slip stitch in the very first gray single crochet that we made. And then cut, leaving somewhat of a long end, let's say go that long, and pull it all the way through. Okay, so we got our body made. It's not sewn together, of course, yet, but you can see the basic shape of it. Now let's add some of our wings. So the wings we want to go on in 3 places, of course. We want one on the exact opposite side of the window, so like right like that. We want one to the left of the window and one to the right of the window. Okay? And that's just the basic gist of it. The bottom of the wings is this part. You can see how it kind of curves in. That's the bottom of the wing. The top of the wing is the opposite side, of course. And for the bottom of the wing, let's go ahead and thread that bottom of the wing tail. Those bottoms go on, let's do the back one first because that's pretty obvious where it goes. The bottom one goes into where the gray stitches are, like right here. Okay, it'll be in like one of these ones. Okay, that's where the bottom of the wing part goes. And the top of the wing one goes like right to the, next to the window. It's probably like right there or something. So let's start with the back. Okay, it's just going to be on the exact opposite side. So you can see how that's totally the opposite. Bottom of the wing like that. You want to pull it through just so that knot kind of pops right out. Thread the top. And we're going to go up, let's just go up a few stitches. Let's see what it would look like. Yeah, it looks like this round right here. Whatever's straight up from it. Okay, so go up like that. And then I actually, you don't have to do this, but I like to do this. I come out one of the stitches under that. Like that. And then I actually thread like so. Like I thread the inside part of this next stitch. You know, I sew into it like that. Go out. And then I go right back down through that stitch. And then out through the bottom where I'll double knot it. And that just keeps like the middle sewn on too. It's like a insurance kind of thing to make sure it's sewn on. Pull it through, pull it tight, and then double knot it. 1 and 2. And you know what? I actually just got an idea that I swear I didn't think about this before, but let's actually leave these ends long and see if we can sew. Oh, you know what? Actually, I got a better idea for it. Thread the ends on a needle. Let's try that. This might make the fire a little bit easier. And I'm just gonna come out through like right here, like just somewhere arbitrary right now. But when we finally get it sewn shut and stuffed up and everything, we're just gonna go straight back into this with these pieces and out through the back to make the fire like super quick and easy. That's not a bad idea. Okay, so let's thread on some more of these fins. So we want one to go just over to the right of that. Okay, so let's go like right there, the bottom. And then we'll thread the top. And we'll do that same thing again. We go, looks like going into that. Looks a little high now. Let's see, what would it look like? Yeah, okay. It might be easier just to go down to one smaller like that, actually. But now that I'm worried that they're going to be uneven. Actually, they'll probably be fine. All right. I don't think you need to do that the fire thing with all 3. Probably just 2 of them will be enough. Because we want some yellow. If we put too much red, the yellow won't show through enough. All right. And we'll tie it together. And we'll do that same thing where we pull it through. I hope that works. If not, we'll just do it the old way I've done before. Okay. And we'll just come out the same one. All right. Cool. Coolio Julio. So now we just need one more fin to be sewn on, and we want that over to the next side right there. Okay. Thread the bottom one. We'll go in just to the left. Is that left? Yeah, it is. Left if it's not upside down. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions whatsoever, or any critiques even. I actually really do appreciate them, because I don't really know what other people think of my patterns unless they tell me. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you have any questions, any critiques, or just want to say hi. I'll see it and I'll answer. And then we'll double knot it. I have a feeling a lot of people won't even hear this part. They'll probably just skip over it. So if you didn't skip over this part, let me know in the comments. And I'll just cut this last one, just because, meh. All right. So last part is we're going to stuff it just a little bit. Okay. So how I like to stuff is I take my pencil and I find the inside or the bottom right there like that. I kind of like get the pencil in there first, and then I place the stuffing over and I kind of scoop it in. Don't just like jam it in like that, or else you won't get any progress. I like to scoop it in. Just a little bit more. All right. And the last part for the main part of the rocket, That part didn't get sewn on as well as I'd liked. I might fix that afterwards. Okay, so the main part, or the last part, is sewing it shut. So grab our gray, grab our needle, and this is the way I sew it shut. First off, I only work in these loops that are closest, like that one. See how I'm not working in both of them? This would be in both, but really I just want to work into this one, to this back one. So what I do is, I go up from the stitch that's directly opposite of our end right here, and I come out through the one across from that like that. Okay, and then I pull it through, and then I go through the stitch directly to the right of that one and come out through the one opposite that, like that. Okay, and then finally we'll go through the one opposite of that one, or to the right of that, last stitch, and then opposite. Yep. And then finally just go, I'm just going to go through like the center, kind of too confusing. Come out through the side like that. And normally I would come straight down through the bottom, but I'm really not worried of that coming undone, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right there and stuff it in with the back of my needle. And now let's see if this thing's going to work. So I'm going to do 2 at a time. Thread the end and go straight through that same stitch and then out through the bottom. You can go over, see how I'm like kind of going over from the right, not right through the center, because you want each part to come out from different, each flame to come out from different parts of the bottom. And we'll do the same with this one. Thread the yarn. That's why I like using really big needles, because I can thread 2 pieces like that. Okay, and then let's go through a little bit closer to the middle. Okay, and the last part is we want a little bit of yellow, so let's grab some yellow. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to place it together like that and pull it to the side, okay, so that it's got the little loop at the end. I'm going to put our needle on it, okay, and then go down through the bottom and then out through one of the ones on the side. That's actually it. Just like that. Okay? And if I think that's actually a good amount of flames. I'm going to curl it. And I'm going to chop it like, but I'm going to chop it like a little bit sideways like that, so that they're uneven shapes. And that is going to be how to make a little tiny rocket. So thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, again, make sure to like and subscribe down below. If you subscribe, you'll get new videos. I'm trying to do new videos every 2 weeks now, or you can get them a little earlier. So that brings me to Club Crochet. So if you haven't left yet, let me explain Club Crochet to you. Oops. Club Crochet is a subscription service that's made for crocheters. Basically how it works is you pay a monthly fee of $5 and you get a new pattern every 2 weeks. And the patterns are all paid patterns. So this month was, do I have it around? I don't. Maybe I'll toss a picture in here somewhere. It was Yoda. We made a little Yoda. That was a couple weeks ago. There's also a pattern for Leia this week, or this month. And those are because each month is based on a theme that's voted on by people in Club Crochet. So there's a bunch of patterns that we do every other week. And if you're signed up for Club Crochet, you actually get access to all the past week's worth of patterns as well. So you get a new pattern every 2 weeks and access to all the past week's worth of patterns. Or you can sign up for a little bit more for $15 a month, and you get a kit mailed directly to your door with all the materials that you're going to need to make one of those month's patterns. So if you like that idea, check out clubcrochet.com. I explain it a lot better there than I do here. And if you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe down below. Oh, I forgot. One more thing that you get for Club Crochet is you get early access to patterns. So Club Crochet members got this pattern way earlier than people that are just subscribed. So you get early access as well. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bye. Hey, one more thing. If you're looking for new patterns to try out, try this little star pattern. I just posted it a couple weeks ago on my YouTube channel. Those are pretty cool, and they're really quick and easy. If you don't like those, well, try this little Millennium Falcon, which came out a week before these ones did. So if you like those, check them out. If not, all right. See ya.